And you want to be a rapper when you get older?
Yep, I want to be a rapper.
And why is that?
It's because, like, all the rappers,
yeah,
they get a lot of mansions.
You want to be a rapper, you want to get some mansions.
Yep.
Like how many mansions?
Like 300.
If someone asked you to name the new kings of the black community by career choice, it would be very difficult to find one more popular than the rapper. It's increasingly difficult to find a major starlet in Hollywood under 30 that is not involved with one. To be a rapper now is essentially what being a basketball player or a pop star would have been to generations past. Flashy, well-known, rich, all of the most beautiful women on your arm. In such a climate, it cannot be a surprise that more and more young children, specifically young black boys, see this and want it for themselves. The new life goal? I want to be a rapper.
And she said today, the bitch gonna get the f*** up on my shit, turn around, hit her with the block, take the fucker down, turn around, he winging that kill, he gonna take him down, okay.
As someone old enough to remember the debut of children in hip-hop, Crisscross was a major turn in hip-hop because now hip-hop was going to appeal to young people specifically. It carved out a space for innocent groups like Another Bad Creation to sing a song about their young love Aisha, or playing at the playground, or a rapper like Lil Bow Wow to show swag as a young, seemingly undersized junior high school student wearing baggy jerseys, showing a persona that many kids could relate to. Or even older teenage rappers like Chi Ali that believe that girls look so good but their brain is not ready. He didn't know, effectively saying that even in hip-hop, age ain't nothing but a number. If you look at some of the young and up-and-coming rappers, really what you see is they have a persona that's essentially the same thing that you would see with normal rappers. They're just doing it younger. If these young kids were rapping in our age, say 30 years ago, they would be rapping about missing the bus or liking a girl at the playground named Aisha, or even having little baby rap beefs with other child rappers without using certain language. But now you're seeing young kids that are using the same language, wearing the same chains, flashing money, standing in front of cars, and they're just doing it younger. And the whole persona of child rappers is that I got to the fly money lifestyle stuff earlier, faster. And so for young kids watching this, they can't help but envy the fact that, well, if I want to be a baller, what's better than being a baller? Well, how about if I'm a baller before I can drive a car? And so the appeal for young people that want to be rappers is now not just being fly, but being like adolescent and fly, being a teenager, being a middle schooler and fly. And so you're just having more and more and more young people that just want to be rappers. When I see a 6-year-old that's trying to live the lifestyle of a trap rapper, it makes me think of, well, he's making sacrifices because he wants to have the lifestyle, the money flashing and sitting in the expensive cars and holding up diamond-studded chains. And of course, if you're trying to live this lifestyle as a 6-year-old, you're going to basically say this lifestyle or bust. If I can't be a big-time rapper, then what's the point? I don't want to be a 9-to-5 guy who puts on a shirt and tie and tries to live a normal life. I want to be a flashy rapper because that's what he's wanted to do since he was 6 years old. And in a way, I kind of look at it the way that Boba Fett, when he bounced up against Jabba's ship and he fell into the Sarlacc Pit, if you are all or nothing, your fate is kind of sealed.
I got a son. He raps. His rap name is Tut Tarantino. If you ever listen to some of his raps, I'm like, oh my God, where does this come from, son? You grew up in a gated community your whole life, but he's rapping my life.
I have forgiven Micheal Irving for his Hall of Fame career with the Dallas Cowboys because, well, one, he was such a great player, and two, Dallas Cowboy fans, as an Eagles fan, are just very difficult to deal with. That said, what he's done off the field has been up and down. He's had his rocky moments, but he's carried himself with a level of grace that should be admired for someone coming from where he came from as a very young, poor kid from South Florida who found a way to excel in high school and college football and then found his way to the Cowboys and then became the major wide receiver in the triplets of America's team. Sorry, I can't say that without that. But his career has been admirable. And so for someone that's done that much work to make it to where he's made it, and to see his kid basically get grabbed by the Sarlacc Pit has to be depressing for him. This is Tut Tarantino, or the stage name for Micheal Irving's son, and for Micheal Irving to see his son become a rapper of all professions it has to be a level of devastating for him to take all of those hits and take all of those pain injections and all the things he had to do to get on the field to make the money to be able to afford raising his son in a gated community, sending him to probably the best private schools in the Dallas area, and then to see his son turn into a rapper that essentially I have to put up a still image for because too much of his video would violate YouTube guidelines. It has to be devastating. And this is a representation of the way that the culture can kind of pull people back down. And in this case, it's middle class to upper class people, young black kids that have been socialized to be upper middle class, and the social structure of the black community, the Sarlacc Pit, just pulls them back down. I speak about culture creep often because it's something that's real, and it's something that I think that Passport Bros should be aware of and vigilant about. If Micheal Irving in a gated community sending his kid to private schools cannot forbid his kids from being pulled in by the allure of this gangster hip-hop trap lifestyle, then don't think that an ocean and being in a different country won't do the same, because every country is going to have a group of people that follow that lifestyle, and they might either try and allure your child into it, or what we saw in the first part of this video, where if you have a daughter and she starts being around the guys that are doing the kind of flashy stuff, you see that the appeal can suck in the Chloe Baileys and the Halle Baileys and that ilk of women, because the swag is so irresistible. And I really think that for guys that are going overseas, there's going to have to be a two-front war of sorts, where one, you're going to have to make sure that you take care of your family in a way that is going to keep it intact from the way that families are just not really being built for the long term in the West. But you also have to fight against the pull of the culture, the Sarlacc Pit, on your kids. Your kids are going to see that and think, oh, wow, these kids are so cool. Or they're going to see this is the swag that everyone's talking about at school. Or even when you go back home and those kids that have all the swag are saying, hey, why don't you hang out with us? That pull is real. And for a lot of black kids, they see that as black. And that definition needs to be changed. We have to be a part of the change, because it's a culture that devours. It pulls in kids from the upper and middle classes back down to the lower levels of the lowest of black culture. Having babies out of wedlock, twerking, having a good time, and flashing money because I'm stunting on y'all. That's not a culture. We got to find a way to protect our offspring from it. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you next video. Take care, guys.